Okay.
So,
all right.
well, congratulations on our
Congratulations. Pleasure
nice,
doing business with you.
nice to be engaged and married to you for 20 years now.
I know.
That's pretty cool.
I can't believe that. Our wedding anniversary.
Has it gone fast or slow for you? I know it's a different answer each day, but what's the answer today?
I mean, it feels like 20 years. It feels
Does it?
No, only in the way because I feel like so much has happened and I can't really remember. Like thinking about pre-married life feels like that's weird. That was a really long time ago.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah. It feels like the most amazing moments of my life being married to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
It has been the most amazing.
It has.
You're welcome.
It's been great. Thank you for marrying me, giving me the privilege and opportunity.
That's right.
And so one of the things that I love is
What
not
did you give
wasting
me
money.
for my 20-year engaged anniversary.
I'm going to give you money-saving tips at the grocery store.
It's the worst.
But it's
That's
the best.
Worst gift ever.
But it's the best. You can translate it into buying shoes or something.
So, fun fact about us, I always loved Valentine's Day because my mom would always buy me little presents.
Because it's a manufactured holiday by Hallmark.
I know, but I still like it. It's just a girl holiday in my mind. It's not even necessarily about romance.
You're just part of the system.
I'm part of the system.
Doing what they tell you.
So anyway, I love pink and I love hearts. What's not to love about Valentine's Day? And so on the first Valentine's Day when I had a boyfriend, I got engaged. Boom!
Great job.
And then that really solidified it.
That's the secret, guys. You just ask them when it's Valentine's Day.
And then they're going to be like, I love this forever. I've got the heart sunglasses and everything. I bought some for Val today, too. I couldn't resist.
What's wrong with you?
Because we're saving money on our groceries each month. So that's why.
That's where it's going, to buy heart sunglasses for our kids. So, yeah, I found this article, and it's titled, I'm a financial expert. Here's 10 ways I save money on groceries each month. And so I want to go through it and see, again, what we do and if we have any better ideas.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So let's just talk about it. Should we?
See if we're better.
All right. We're probably not, because I don't consider us to be like
great at this.
Experts in this, but
no.
But I do like saving money on groceries. It's the area that I can confirm this. It's one of the areas where most people waste a lot of money is on food.
We do eat a lot of the food that we buy.
We're really good at that now.
A lot of waste.
My parents, or I should say my dad. I love my dad, but my dad was so bad at this. Like growing up, my dad would
cook dinner for a football team, and there were 4 of you.
Every single time.
And only one, it was like boy and a girl. It wasn't like he had a bunch of boys to feed.
Like, and in some ways I'm like, it's kind of efficient batching it, but it's like, it wasn't strategic. It was just.
Well, he didn't save it. He just like he just stuck it in the fridge
and then
it would go bad.
We would have a pile of like 15 hamburgers after we were done eating. Our family of 4. And they would sit in the fridge, and the next day, maybe somebody would eat one. The next day, I don't know, maybe half of one would go. 3 days later, somebody else would maybe eat one. It's kind of getting iffy now. And then a week or 2 later, somebody's like, those burgers are looking real weird.
Sus.
It's time to just throw those away. So we would throw away 10 burgers. Anyway, that was just the pattern that I remember growing up. Maybe I'm making it up, but I remember that. Anyway, the point is that I think that's more common than I would like to.
And it's funny because my dad's parents grew up in the Depression in the 30s. And so my dad would literally be eating, I don't know, like it doesn't matter. He would eat everything. Like there was nothing that would go to waste.
Doesn't matter how much mold or rot is on it. It's like, you can't waste it.
But he would always say, well, someone's got to eat it. But that was also his excuse to eat something he wanted to eat. Someone's got to eat it.
Well, yeah.
Which is funny. So I don't think we wasted a lot when we were growing up.
Okay, well, we did.
Because my dad was pretty like, you never know when you're going to get your next meal, even though that was never our experience.
Yeah.
But
well, we did waste a lot. And so I was determined when we got married that like we were not going to waste food. And so we've been pretty good about that. And I think, one of the simplest things that we do that I think makes such a difference is we do freeze almost everything.
Mm-hmm.
So when we have leftovers, they go in the freezer.
They don't go in the fridge.
And so when they go in the freezer, they don't spoil. But like if you put them in the fridge, a few days later, it's like it's going to get pretty sketchy, depending on what it is, of course. And so anyway, so we just freeze it and then we cook it. And it takes longer to cook that way, but I don't know. We've just kind of accepted
fine.
that as our rhythm, I
Yeah.
think. And
We're okay with it.
anyway, all right. This expert who saves money on groceries. Number 1, never go grocery shopping while hungry.
I mean, this is pretty
So
basic.
here's what's funny about this. I absolutely believe this is true, but I really like going to the store when I'm hungry. It feels more fun to me. Have you ever thought about that? I know.
It is more fun
I know
'cause
we
you're like,
spend more money.
"Ooh, look at this. I've never seen this
But
before."
suddenly I feel like I see so many more things.
It's actually more like shopping
What do you
than
mean?
like, instead of it, grocery shopping is kind of like a task,
Oh, yeah. It's not fun shopping.
but it's
Yeah,
more like
definitely. And like if we'll go to Trader Joe's or
other shopping.
something and I'll like
Trader
find
Joe's.
new things that I haven't seen, it's like, oh, that looks good. I've
Ooh,
never had that
let's try
sauce. Like that looks great. And like,
We
so
gotta
I feel
have
like
that.
I discover new things to eat while I'm really hungry at the grocery store. So
Yeah. And then you make all these plans with the meals you're gonna make, and then you never make them. Do
so,
you do that?
So,
You're like, "No."
I don't know if I do
I
it
do
as
that.
much as you, but
I'm like, "Ooh, I've
I'm
got
always
so
more
many plans
ambitious.
for this."
I'm
And
always
then I'm
more
like,
ambitious. Yeah.
I'm satisfied. So I don't
But I do think that's a good tip. Like if you're trying to save money, I think that's definitely it. Number 2, sign up for the loyalty program. I think it depends on the grocery stores you go to. Like I don't know that because we typically go to Sprouts. They might have a
Costco,
loyalty program.
They might.
Costco, yeah, we do buy at Costco, and
I
I
guess
guess
we're
we're part of their
Publix.
program. We do go to Publix sometimes.
That's more of like a, "Ooh, I forgot this" type of thing.
Yeah, we don't buy
It's
a
not
lot
like
there.
our regular.
But yeah, I think that's one we don't do a lot, but yeah, that makes sense. All right, number 3, take inventory of what you already have in the fridge and cupboard. You are terrible at this. I love you.
Yes, I am. Well, and I'll tell you why this is the case is because you are really good at like Bob is a great cook and he's good at just being like, "Oh, I'm just gonna whip this up." And everybody's like, "This is amazing. You just like went in
you.
there and grabbed all these random things and
I'm
made
for
it
hire as a
meal?"
chef if you want to hire me as
Yeah,
a chef.
right.
Well, no, I'm just
You are
joking. Don't call
not.
me. Don't email me. I'm not going to be your chef.
But you are really good. Like you will pull stuff out of a hat that I'm like, I don't know how you made this a meal, but you did. And that is why I'm bad at it.
I took the Gordon Ramsay masterclass. That did it.
And I benefited from
No,
Bob taking the Gordon
that is a
Ramsay.
little part of it, but there's more than that. But yeah, I mean,
That
it's just
was
the way
good.
your brain works. In my brain, I naturally think this way. But what did you do the other day? Like we had literally 3 bags of sugar or something. You bought a bag of sugar.
No,
or something
I
like
said,
that.
"Do we need sugar?"
No, there was something that we
I
had
didn't
3
buy
of
it.
that you bought.
I don't think so.
I love you.
I don't think this one happened.
All
But
right.
I have done this before.
Anyway, the point is, yes, this makes sense that you would save money by not continuing to buy things you already have a whole lot of, especially when they spoil. Sugar isn't one of them. But all right, number 4, make enough for leftovers.
Yes, I love this one.
Often I'll double up on meals, so we have leftovers for lunch the next day, which reduces the number of ingredients needed each week.
Oh.
Yeah,
That
like
sounds
that.
good.
That is a big one because, again, going back to my
I just
family,
like this as a life hack in general.
well, it saves time.
Yeah.
You
So
know.
much time. And then when you're like, "Oh, shoot, what do I eat now?" Instead of going to the drive-thru, you're going to eat your leftovers because they're just there.
Yeah, like this is our current rhythm right
Takes
now
less
that we've
time.
gotten in to where we've been making more meat than we need or more rice than we need. And we throw them both in the freezer and we work from home. And so I feel like 3 or 4 times this week I've said, "Hey, just throw me some rice and some meat in the freezer." And then I'll put
was
some
great.
sauce on it. And like it's a,
Little avocado,
and
done.
it takes a half an hour to cook in the oven, which is our preferred method of cooking. But it's like just set a timer, go down there and grab it, throw, like you said, avocado, some sauce on it or something. It's like, boom, simple little meal. Anyway,
Yeah, and
so
it's not Gordon Ramsay level of deliciousness, but it
no, but
is
it takes
good
no
enough,
time.
and
It takes no time. Like that's the thing that's super attractive to me right now.
Well, and usually you'll go put it in, or I'll put it in for you, and then you'll be working until it's ready, and then it's just like a hot meal ready to go.
And honestly, even when I was working in an office, I did stuff like this a lot because it saved us so much money. Like if I would have gone out to lunch, it would have cost me $10 or $15. But again, this leftovers of meat and rice is way less than that, you know?
And it takes less time.
Takes less time than going out.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yes, I think this makes a whole lot of sense. This is good. Number 5, plan. Careful planning may be a habit that needs some adjustment, but it has significantly reduced the amount of food we waste each month. It's allowed us to be more frugal with our grocery spending and avoid overspending on food that isn't needed or used on time. So I was going to say this because like my family, again, part of what I think the waste was that we had growing up was
There was
that
no
idea.
plan.
Like, well, with ingredients, there's so many ingredients that you have to buy a whole bottle for or something. that might
Mhm.
just be for one meal.
Right.
And so
Yeah.
therefore, like when that's multiplied over, that adds to the expense and the cost of it, of course,
Mhm.
you know?
Especially if you're like, "I don't really know that I like this meal and I'm never gonna make it again." That's the
Yeah,
worst.
which this might be a great time. Like we just last month tried out Green Chef,
Mhm.
in which is a meal kind of
It
prep
basically is
service.
like they give you everything and then you have to cook it, but they give you all the spices, all the sauces, ready to go.
Yeah,
And
and
the meals were really good.
the meals were good. And to be honest, like I think it'd be great for you because everything's not even completely prepped, but all the ingredients are prepackaged in the correct amounts.
Well, and you
So you
didn't
just
have to
throw it
think
in there.
about it. Yeah.
You don't have to think. There's not much creativity needed at all. It's like you
Mhm.
just put things in, but you do have to cook it. Okay, so you're still doing some work. You're doing a little bit of prep of chopping carrots or whatever the thing might
Mhm.
be. But the biggest problem with that for me, like we picked Green Chef among so many of the different options out there because they offer a lot of organic ingredients in what they
Mhm.
do.
And
But
that's something that's
once,
important to us, so that's what we spend money on.
yeah, but
Mhm.
once I like realized how much it cost, and so I think we bought like 3 or 4 meals for our family, and I'm like, this is just stupid
It's
expensive.
so expensive. We could go to the really good organic
There's no,
restaurant
we can go to any restaurant in town
and spend
and
the
have a
same
really
amount or
nice
less.
meal that's made for us for honestly less than what we were spending to have to cook it at home. So it just was
It
stupid
was not,
expensive. And
yeah,
so we bailed on
cost
that.
efficient,
And we have
which is a bummer.
it is. We have a local company here in Nashville who we have bringing us some food now that just I think one day a week, and their prices are far better, and it's done for us. It's
Yeah,
literally just throw it in the oven and warm it up.
just warm it up, right.
And so we're going with that to do just a little bit, take a little bit of the burden off of having to cook a meal every single night.
Mhm.
But point is that I don't know.
Don't get Green Chef is the
Well,
point.
yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where it's like I think for certain people it might be worth it, but for us it just wasn't. All right, number 6, I believe it is. Write it all down. Okay, there are plenty of apps you can use to make a list of needed grocery items for the week.
Oh, write down your
Yeah, write
list.
down the
Yeah,
list.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I highly recommend, at the very least, writing out your grocery list with a rough plan of your meal plan for the week before you do shopping. I agree with
Sure.
that. When we do that, that helps out a lot. The other thing I would add to this too is we regularly use Instacart for
Yes.
grocery shopping. Now, I know that we are paying more by using it. The
Mhm.
expense is higher, there's extra fees, and some of the grocery items even cost more than if we went to the store. Like I know there's additional expense there, but I actually think we're probably breaking even, if not coming out ahead,
Because we're not going
because
to the
there's no
store
more
hungry.
impulse buys.
Yeah.
We're not going to the store hungry, and we've eliminated a lot of those impulse buys.
Mhm.
And so it's an interesting thing because and it definitely saves us time, and it's nice having the groceries just appear at our
Right.
door. But I think that's something that not a lot of people consider, that you can actually save money by just removing those impulse purchases. Now, know yourself, know how you respond to the grocery store. But like I said,
Yeah.
when I go hungry, like there's a lot of impulse buys there,
Right.
And so this has been a way to curb that for us.
Uh-huh.
Any comments?
Nope, no comments.
No
You covered
comments.
it all.
All right, number 7, shop at Aldi and Sam's Club.
Mhm.
Uh,
We don't shop at Aldi.
No, we haven't been at Aldi. We go to Trader Joe's, which they're owned by the same company. I think they
Yeah.
have a lot of similarities in what they do.
The Aldi people are like Aldi people. Like they really love
Just
it.
like
Just kind
Trader
of like Trader
Joe's.
Joe's
Yeah.
people. It's like they
It's
have
a little cult following.
developed, such a following.
Yeah,
I
we
think.
don't have Sam's Club, but we have Costco, in which similar thing. And Costco is, we actually did a video in one of our courses talking about this. But Costco, man, when you do it right, again, like the key is to not waste food.
Right.
And so, like, for example, in this, I remember making a video talking about this. I went to our local grocery store. The closest one, I think, was Publix or something like that. And I went to Costco and I looked at the price of lemons of each. So
Yeah.
1 pound at the local store, I think it was $6 or $7 for 1 pound of lemons. And then at Costco, it's 5 pounds for $7.
Right.
So literally it was 5 times as much for the same price.
Well, and we
But-
use a lot of lemons.
Yeah, but that's why it makes sense. That's my
Right.
point. So just getting the big, huge bulk Costco box doesn't help if you're going to waste 70% of it.
Right.
But if you know you're going to use it, if it's not going to spoil, like it can be a huge cost savings
Mhm. Yeah.
on a lot of different things.
Yeah. And especially with the family, it's like, yeah. I mean, I just feel like I open one bag of chips and it's gone that day.
Like normal sized chips?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like we kind of need,
We need the
things are not
Costco
lasting.
bag.
Things are not lasting in the house. It's not like we're in a lot of danger of wasting a whole bunch of
Oh,
stuff.
yeah. We got hungry kids who are not that picky.
They're not that
thank
picky.
Jesus.
I know.
All right.
One of 'em
Number
is.
8. A little bit. Opt for ingredients that can be used for many meals. We kind of already talked about this. That just makes sense. Although, like, I mean, and I'm never going to do that exclusively because it's like I want to try new things. Like
Right.
I'm pretty somewhat creative in the kitchen and want to try new meals and new flavors and stuff. And so there's a balance there. But
Mhm.
number 9, invest in a good coffee maker.
I agree with this. This is one of my stories. I bought a coffee maker instead of going to get coffee every day, and it was great.
And you ended up making better coffee.
I liked
than
it better.
Starbucks.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's definitely something to it. Because, yeah, I mean, if you add it up over time, it's like you're going to end up saving money. And it just becomes your thing, and you just get your warm cup of coffee.
Yeah. At home. You don't have to
At
drive
home.
anywhere.
And
How
then
great is
if
that?
it's Christmas Day and everything's closed, you still get your coffee that you love.
There you go. All right, number 10, think not only about saving money, but about saving time, which we already talked about a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The less money or less time I spend in the grocery store, the less money I spend.
Yeah.
We talked about that
yeah,
too.
that's not a bad idea. I mean, the thing I'm kind of surprised I didn't mention this. Like, I think there's a couple things that are worth mentioning here that they didn't mention. So one of them being like coupons, for example. Like, we don't really use coupons. And again, like
they have them on Instacart. You just click the little button.
Well, all right. Cutting coupons, paper coupons, whatever.
Right.
In that all technology is shifting there, over the last decade or whatever. But fact is, like, I know some people who use coupons really well and save a ton of money doing it. It is one of those things where it's like, I don't know if this is worth my time and energy at this point. And again, could be wrong on that, but point is, like, there's money to be saved there. The other thing that I interviewed, I mean, this is probably a long time ago, but interviewed this woman who's an expert in this topic, specifically saving money and specifically at the grocery store. And one of the things she said, she's like, don't waste your time cutting coupons. Don't waste your time doing really a lot of the things on this list. She said the most important thing is to understand when the sales are and to focus on the sales. And so her argument would be like, all right, if the grocery store has a 30% discount on ground beef, you can buy a ton of ground beef at 30% off that you're going to eat. If you have a deep freezer, you can freeze it for a year.
Right.
And so, if you think about how much money your family spends on ground beef over the course of the year, and if you can get a 30% discount on that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, if you're going to spend $1,000 on ground beef over the course of the year, and you can get it for $700 instead, like, that's huge.
That is
huge.
So but you have to have $700 to spend on ground beef.
It does, but the principle applies regardless. You know, it's just you can multiply it out and really get a big savings. But like the same thing with like buying foods that are in season, right? Buying fruits that are in season. So like it's been funny. Like, again, back to Costco, I remember watching. So they have a 2-pound thing of like organic strawberries that we were buying when they were on season, and they went from like $6 or $7 to like $18.
Oh my gosh!
So it more than doubled in price. Just because it went out of season and it's no longer readily available. Not to mention, it's not as good for you when it's not in season. So many reasons to focus on that. And so if you can focus on the things that are on sale and focus on the things that are in season, it's like you can drastically reduce your grocery spending with not much work,
Yeah, that's great. That's a good tip.
So anyway, those are the money-saving grocery tips that they have listed here. We'll have a link to this article if you want to check it out and read more about it.
Yeah.
And and feel free to let us know if you have any great money-saving tips on groceries that we did not talk about that we should talk about next time.
Because this is one of those things.
Everybody
needs help.
We all need help in this area now,
Everything is so expensive. It's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's all for today. Be blessed. Be a blessing, and we'll see you soon. This is what Kesha had to say about our book, Simple Money, Rich Life.
First and foremost, Simple Money, Rich Life. Y'all know that I've been reading this book, and hands down, I would go as far as saying this is probably one of the most monumental books in my life.
And did you know that you can get a copy for free?
You can get it on Amazon, but we so believe that the church needs this message that if you can cover shipping, we'd love to cover the cost of the book and send you a free copy.
All you need to do is go to seedtime.com/free to get yours.